growing guerrilla force becomes better informers and collaborators. Their function is to protect the revolution. Following Phase 1, organization, consolidation, preservation, and Phase 2, progressive expansion, comes Phase 3, decision or destruction of the enemy. It is during this period that a significant percentage of the active guerrilla completes its transformation into an orthodox establishment capable of engaging the enemy in conventional battle. This phase may be protracted by negotiations. Such
God damn it, the line. Damn it, son of a bitch!
guarantee the development of a victorious situation. Intelligence is the decisive factor in planning guerrilla operations. Where is the enemy? In what strength? What does he propose to do? What is the state of his equipment, his supply, his morale? Are his leaders intelligent, bold, and imaginative, or stupid and impetuous? Are his troops tough, efficient, and well-disciplined, or poorly trained and soft? Guerrillas expect the members of their intelligence service to provide the answers to these and dozens more detailed questions. Guerrilla intelligence nets are tightly organized and pervasive. In a guerrilla area, every person, without exception, must be considered an agent. Old men and women, boys driving ox carts, girls tending goats, storekeepers, school teachers, priests, boatmen, scavengers. The local cadres put the heat on everyone, without regard to age or sex, to produce all conceivable information. And produce it they do. As a corollary, guerrillas deny all information of themselves to their enemy, who is enveloped in an impenetrable fog. Total inability to get information was a constant complaint of the nationalists during the first 4 suppression campaigns, as it was later of the Japanese in China and of the French in both Indochina and Algeria. This is a characteristic feature.
Fire in the hole! Jackie! Vicious and of short duration.
Many are harassing in nature, others designed to dislocate his plans and to agitate and confuse his commanders. The mind of the enemy and the will of his leaders is a target of far more importance than the bodies of his troops. Mao once remarked, not entirely facetiously, that guerrillas must be expert at running away since they do it so often. They avoid static dispositions. Their effort is always to keep the situation as fluid as possible, to strike where and when the enemy least expects them. Only in this way can they retain the initiative and so be assured of the battle, usually designed to lure the enemy into a baited trap, to confuse his leadership, or to distract his attention from an area in which a more decisive blow is imminent. Running away is thus, paradoxically, offensive. Guerrilla operations conducted over a wide region are necessarily decentralized. Each regional commander must be familiar with local conditions and take advantage of local opportunities. The same applies to commands in subordinate districts.
Hey down there!
Logistical problems are solved in a direct, elementary fashion. The enemy is the
Tremendous.
weapons, equipment, and ammunition. Mao once said, "We have a claim on the output of the arsenals of London as well as of Hanyang, and what is more, it is to be delivered to us by the enemy's own transport corps. This is the sober truth, not a joke." If it is a joke, it is a macabre one as far as American taxpayers are concerned. Defectors to the communists from Chiang Kai-shek's American-equipped divisions were numbered in the tens of thousands. When they surrendered, they turned in mountains of American-made individual arms, jeeps, tanks, guns, bazookas, mortars, radios, and automatic weapons. It is interesting to examine Mao's strategical and tactical theories in the light of his principle of unity of opposites. This seems to be an adaptation to military action of the ancient Chinese philosophical concept of yin-yang. Briefly, the yin and the yang are elemental and pervasive. Of opposite polarities, they represent female, dark and light, cold and heat, recession and aggression. Their reciprocal interaction is endless. In terms of the dialectic, to the thesis and antithesis from which the synthesis is derived. An important postulate of the yin-yang theory is that concealed within strength there is weakness, and within weakness, strength. It is a weakness of guerrillas that they operate in small groups that can be wiped out in a matter of minutes. But because they do operate in small groups, they can move rapidly and secretly into the vulnerable rear of the enemy. In conventional tactics, dispersion of forces invites destruction. In guerrilla war, this very tactic is desirable both to confuse the enemy and to preserve the illusion that the guerrillas are ubiquitous. It is often a disadvantage not to have heavy infantry weapons available. The very fact of having to transport them has until recently tied conventional columns to roads and well-used tracks. The guerrilla travels
Nice.
fast. He turns the hazard
Hold up.
to his advantage and makes an ally of tropical rains, heavy snow, intense heat, to an unsuspecting enemy. In every area,
Should be a way up. Grenade!
Each apparent advantage lies the seed of disadvantage. The yield is not clear.
Spin it! Hospital!
distraction on the one hand and concentration on the other. To fix
Get on the left!
To strike where and when he least anticipates the blow. Guerrillas are masters the arts of simulation and dissimulation. They create pretenses and simultaneously disguise or conceal their true semblance. Their tactical
Here they come!
to preserve oneself and destroy the enemy is always governed. Some historical experience suggests that there is very little hope of destroying the revolutionary guerrilla. That has survived the first phase program and popular support. Such factors as terrain,
I'm gonna need these.
technical aid, advisors, or volunteers from outside sources, the availability of a sanctuary, the relative military efficiency, and the political flexibility of the incumbent government are naturally relevant to the ability of a movement to survive and expand. In specific aspects, revolutionary guerrilla situations will of course differ. But
He's crushing me!
during the latter period of its first phase, might have looked something like Figure 1. Had an impartial analyst applied such criteria to Vietnam 6 to 8 months before the final debacle, he might have produced a chart somewhat like Figure 2. Here determinants A, C, H, and I definitely favored the guerrillas, who also,
This
unlike
way!
Castro, had an available sanctuary. Two others, C and F, might have been considered in balance. Although the Vietnamese had demonstrated superior tactical ability in guerrilla situations, an experienced observer might have been justified in considering military efficiency equal. The French were learning. While other determinants may no doubt be adduced, those used are, I believe, valid so far as they go, and the box scores indicative. Those chances of success might have been estimated as approximately 3 to 2. Ho Chi Minh's is approximately 4 to 3. These analyses may be criticized as having been formulated after the event. It is, however, my belief that the outcome of Cuba could have been before the respective movements had emerged from the stage of organization and consolidation. Phase 1. At the present time, much attention is being devoted to the development of gadgetry. A good example of a restricted approach to the problem was reported in Newsweek. Pentagon. A new and fiendishly ingenious anti-guerrilla
Should be a way up
weapon being tested
ahead.
by the Navy. It's a delayed action liquid explosive. It seeps in foxholes and bunkers.
Grenade! There's the hospital! Fire in the hole! Get on the left!
require movement and resettlement of entire communities. Eradication requires reliable information and demands extreme operational flexibility and a high degree of mobility. Commando-type troops must be used against the guerrillas themselves. And constantly attacked. Every effort must be made to take prisoners. The best source of information the situation. Imaginative, intelligent, and bold leadership is absolutely essential. Commanders and leaders at every echelon must be selected with these specific qualities in mind. Officers and NCOs